And today, early morning, we're going to talk about the different markets, the cannabis markets in the world, what they're saying, if you agree with it, if you don't agree with it. I don't really agree fully with what they're saying right now for the markets. The biggest market, I would say, would be the Canadian market. They could have all this talk about, look, let me read this. Top global and regional cannabis markets, New York, US, surging as a premier high growth market with a heavy foot traffic. With heavy foot traffic, major cultural influences, rapidly expanding retail network. Okay. Germany and Europe, serving as the fastest growing key competitive hub for international medical cannabis. Okay, for medical cannabis. California, US, remaining the historical global benchmark cultivation. Yes, they do a lot of cultivation, size, product variety, and brand innovation. Now, Canada, they put at the bottom. I don't know why. Providing a stable, mature federal legal framework anchored by major license production and widespread retail access. Okay, so I think Canada should be at the top for the whole thing. As long as it's federal, Canada should be at the top, right? It's fully legalized, and when they're talking about New York's surging premier high growth, that's going on in Canada too. Everything they're saying about New York is already going on in Canada. Everything they're saying about California is already going on in Canada too. The same thing is going on in Canada. All those other markets, the same thing is going on in Canada. So Canada should be the number one. So it says Germany, serving as the growing and key competitive hub for international medical cannabis expansion. Okay, medical cannabis. Woo, that's for the medical side. You're big in that, right? Then New York says surging as a premier high growth market with heavy foot traffic. That's going on in Canada, everywhere. It's legal everywhere. Make it make sense. And then they put that for Canada, providing a stable, mature federal legal framework, saying that, yeah, we are mature, anchored by major licenses and producers. Producers means the people who were cultivating it. Producers just another name for cultivation. Make it make sense. They always want to put Canada underneath everything when Canada's number one in a lot of stuff. What are you saying? Right? This is for you all to read. Now, Cali does have a lot of good Kush. Cali does have good Kush. They've been developed their weed or herbs long time, a long time. So when they say in California, because they got two states in here, New York just not too long ago legalized marijuana. So California is remaining a historic global benchmark for cultivation. Cultivation just means producing. Canada's doing that. They just put it in another language, right? So Canada's the number one when it comes to the market. Let's be straight up. They're saying New York, a surge of traffic, right? People saying interest. People are interested. It seems like that because it's been illegal for so long, and the law has been so hard on marijuana that now that it's free up, they freed up the system. There's a whole bunch of traffic out there, of course. But in Canada, it hasn't been as strict as in America, and they legalize stuff. So you might not see people going crazy, but people are purchasing. So the market is still good because you don't have to rely on the black market, right? Right now, we live on the YouTube and we live on Kick. Live on Kick, people. Follow the Kick if you can. Follow the Kick if you can, right? So, what do you think about the market? The market right now in Canada been making billions of dollars, billions of dollars, billions. Let me move from this noise. Yeah, the market is good in Canada. It's the best. Canada has the best market 100% when it comes to cannabis. Let's go into another location, people. Yeah, Canada is the best market. Just read that. Take that in. What you're saying, people. So, global regional cannabis markets, the best is Canada. The best cannabis, 100%. I think people keep talking about this Cali Kush and stuff, but there's more strict regulations in America. Way more strict regulations in America and other places. So, like I'm saying, I read it one more time. New York, US, surging as a premier high growth market with a heavy footprint traffic, major cultural influences rapidly expanding the retail market. When they say cultural influences, major cultural influences expanding the retail market, you know what they're talking about? Hip hop. Black people in America. It's hip hop. Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, the list goes on. You take that in. I know how to read through these words. Like I said, major cultural influences rapidly expanding the retail network. If it wasn't for cookies, burner, hip hop, the cannabis would still be big, but it wouldn't be the same. So that's what they're saying. Surging a premier high growth market with a heavy footprint. Now, Germany and Europe, they're saying they've always been kind of soft on it. Now it says serving as the fastest growing and key competitive hub, but it's for medical. Medical, right? They have that in Canada, medical, if you really need it. They had that a long time ago, right? A long time ago in Canada. Now Canada is saying, provided the stable, mature federally, right, legal framework, so we don't have to fight about cannabis in Canada anymore. Major licenses and producers, so they got license and producers, which is cultivation. Widespread retail access. That means it's everywhere. It's not strict. Widespread retail means everywhere, people. Everywhere. Everywhere. That's what it means. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. It's the Myrie Jane podcast. What do you think of all this? Right? The law is very important to know. And I'm glad I'm not from any of those places where it's screwed up with the laws. Right? California is legalized. That's what they say. Certain places in Europe, it is legalized, but not everywhere. New York, just maybe like 2-3 years ago, got legal. Detroit, it's legal. Certain places it's legal, not everywhere in America. So if you go into America and thinking you're going to blaze up everywhere, no. You could go to the capital and blaze up or buy some herbs. But the best place for tourism, and it should get better, is Canada. You don't need to go to New Amsterdam anymore. No need to go to New Amsterdam, right? There's no need for that. What you're saying, people? I feel like playing some music right now in the background. Let's see how this sounds.
You stayed because you want something better. You want more than your father ever had.
Got some music in the background. Early morning pod, live pod episode. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good.
Security pleasure. They don't give out awards for dying in the projects.
Testing the music. So if you don't know, now you know. You gotta get the right cannabis, the right retailer. And if you're in a legally, market like Canada, even if it's legal, you still gotta go to the dispensary and you gotta do your research actually before you go to the dispensary. Right? Hold on. Yep. Yep. Take it in, people. The best market is Canada. Just read it. You have common sense. US, they're just shocked because it's legal in New York. So a lot of people are going out there and they're experimenting. Germany, it's just medical, right? California, they've been developing from years ago. But Canada is the model for all of them. It should be the top one because producers and cultivation is the same thing. It's the same thing. Just read it and take it in. Canada providing a stable, mature federal legal framework. So basically saying maturity, right? Let me go change the screen so you can see me. What you're saying, people. So in regards to markets, this is the market. A lot of people went into the stock market in regards to weed, cannabis, and some people lost in the beginning. Some people were winning because in Canada, for example, cannabis is cheap. It's become cheap compared to in America or other places. It's cheap because of competition. I seen this coming. I said, the more dispensaries, the less the prices was gonna go down, right? When there was less, it was more high because there's less competition. But now there's a whole bunch of competition. Everywhere in Canada you go. If you're in Ontario, for example, certain places, certain cities, there's a dispensary everywhere compared to other places. Like you could walk down the street, dispensary, 4 dispensaries, not too far from each other, right? So the market, no place in the world is like Canada. No place in the world is like Canada. So the way how when they made it legalized, it's more like if you're selling it illegal, you're gonna be getting more time actually. You're gonna be getting a big ass fine, right? It's actually worse for you to do that. What you're saying, people. So this is what's going on. And the stock market for cannabis is different. Jay-Z tried to get into the business and he fell out quick. Why? Because he thought that it's just weed. The weed was just going to sell itself. You got to promote. You got to promote. You got to promote. That's what they're saying in America is driving the sales for cannabis. It's basically influencers like Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, urban music. That's what's promoting, I guess, these dispensaries. You've seen a lot of rappers, a lot of people in that genre opening up dispensaries, promoting it the most. I don't know anybody else really promoting it like them, right? So that's what they're saying. When they're saying the US surged as a premier high growth market with heavy foot traffic, major cultural influences. What does major cultural influences mean? What does major cultural influences mean? Rapidly expanding the network. So without the cultural influences, it can't expand. So without like these artists and celebrities, it won't be as big. People still will smoke, but it's promoting to the newer, younger generation. Now, Germany, they mastered the medical stuff. They mastered it in probably like pill forms and all types of forms in Germany, right? California, they're known for the OG Kush, the bud, for a long time, no doubt. Like in, I think it's Oregon or whatever, California, they've been growing it for a long time. So, yeah, they got quality. No one will never, ever deny that Cali doesn't have the quality. They have the top notch quality. Canada, though, has good quality too. And it's all fully legal. It's fully legal. I could order right now. I could just order and go outside and pick it up like pizza, right? But yeah, that's how it is. So I guarantee cannabis, the stock for cannabis has went down. The sales for cannabis has probably fell, right? It's not as like before. It's not the same. Dispensaries are more high priced than the black market, but you can still find deals in Canada when you go to dispensaries. America's having a problem right now, and man, I could go into my conspiracy bag. I think they're talking about spiked weed and a whole bunch of stuff like that. That's what they're talking about, right? I think what that is, personally, I think that is a conspiracy to scare people from the herbs so they could go to the doctor and get medication. That's what it is. It's to scare people from the herbs. 100%. Let me see if I could go full screen. Trying to get a scene. Right? Full screen. Nah, nah, nah. So that's what's going on, people. That's read it and weep, as they would say. Read it and weep. That's what's going on, man. I'm lucky that I'm in Canada. If you don't know, now you know, people. If you don't know, now you know. Right? Fully legal where I'm from. Fully legal. No place better, man. Got good quality. I can't complain. Very good quality herbs. Very good quality herbs, man. 100%. What you saying, people? People scared in the chat. What if you're from America? How is it? How is your system going? If you were a cannabis connoisseur, how? If you're from Europe, how is it? It's not fully clear because Wiz Khalifa in Romania, they want to arrest him still, or they have a warrant for his arrest. So Romania ain't good. That means certain places in Europe is not clear how it is, because when you go to Europe, you're thinking they're laxed on the weed, but they're not. You get what I mean? They're really not. They're really, really, really not. So what are you saying, people? I'm trying to figure out. Let me see what I could do right here. Remove. Yeah, just remove that, right? So you can see me clear. It's Friday. Friday, this is the day people do go to the market, if you want to say the most. I think Fridays is payday. Friday is, Friday night, people after work, they might go chill at the bar. Some people chill at their friends. They go, congregate. So Friday and the weekend, high consumption, probably the highest consumption. and sales. Sales is crazy. Guaranteed it's crazy, right? Fridays when a lot of people are purchasing their cannabis. I will be. I will be 100%, right? It goes fast, man. It goes really fast. What you saying, people? What you saying, people? It's the Myri Jane podcast. Please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, right? So today, a lot of purchases, man. But the market is the best, I'll tell you, in Canada for the last, let's see, was it legal from 2018? So, let's see, it's 2006, 26, about 8 years. For the 8 years, yeah, about 8 years, it's been good, right? Before that, it was good. But now you don't have to worry about the police bothering you, getting locked up for a spliff, getting locked up just for smoking, all that stupid shit I hear in America, they lock you up for. In Canada, no. I could walk down the street with a big spliff in my mouth, blazing it up. I could be blazing it everywhere outside in the public. No problem. Smoking as much as I want, right? I could go to the dispensary and buy tons, it depends how much money you have, tons of weed, no problem. The list goes on. Canada should be the next tourist attraction for cannabis besides Europe. I'll tell you that right now. If you want to have a vacation and you're a cannabis connoisseur, come to Canada, 100%. I can't tell you the prices because on here is sensitive, but it's really cheap compared to American style prices. It's very cheap because the market, everybody's doing it. You could grow 4 plants. Every person in Canada is allowed to grow 4 plants, if not more, right? If not more. So the market, what I just showed you, they love to put Canada be under everybody. Canada should be the top. Should be the top one, not these other ones I'm hearing. Why I'm seeing New York? Just because they have a lot of people going out there and buying more because it's a surge, that's going to stop. That's going to slow down that surge. That surge will slow down. Right now, the only thing they could say is because of cultural influence. They don't want to come clear with you. I'm telling you what the cultural influence is. It's musicians who are promoting it. Musicians like Snoop. Snoop promotes the weed the most, and Wiz Khalifa and other guys like Be Real. All hip hop. Hip hop promotes weed the most. There's no other genre, no other culture what promotes cannabis. They had the hippies way back in the day, but it's black culture what's promoting the cannabis the most. You have other people promoting it, but commercially, leading it right now is hip hop culture because there's tons of songs talking about just weed, right? So that's what they mean in the markets of in America. And Cali, of course, y'all's producing good shit. People been talking about Cali. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff to the Myri Jane podcast. New episodes on the platform, people, in the video form and live. More content coming even tonight, right? Maybe an interview or so. I'm going to be doing interviews too on here. Some cannabis interviews talking about all types of stuff. But they say Donald Trump kind of softened the rules or the laws for cannabis, right? Schedule something. They have all these different laws, Schedule 1, Schedule 2. I don't know what the hell these schedules are, but it's all confusing to me, right? He's trying to do better. I think what he's going to do, his last attempt to get support, I'm talking about Donald Trump, the leader, the president of America, he's going to try to legalize the whole thing before he's finished being the president. So people will love him for that. Because guess what? If Donald Trump was to legalize cannabis right now, all the bad stuff what he's done for a lot of people would disappear. Really disappear. People would forget about it like they smoked a big blunt. If he was just to say legalize marijuana, a lot of people just forgive him for all the stuff what he has done. Even if he does some crazy shit, they'll say, who cares, man? Look what he done. He legalized it, man. I'm not getting arrested anymore. And you know how much people, he even called for people to come out of prison who got incarcerated because of cannabis. So the market right now is the best in Canada. It would be good if America's market was all federal because then people could do trades. Then people could do, there could be, like trading more right now. But because it's not fully clear, it can't do that. And with the tariff stuff and all that, that's temporary because of Trump. But with all that stuff, yeah, it would be so good. I was saying this from a long time ago because Canada legalized for a good while. If America had done the same, it would have been good for business, but they haven't, right? When you look up a lot of the stuff, what American, some of the stuff, not all, but some of the stuff the Americans are consuming is grown in Canada, and they don't know that. So there is some type of system, what they're not telling people, where they grow it in Canada and legally get it shipped to America. They're just not telling people that. Uh, Michigan has probably one of the biggest cultivation, or you say operations in America. Michigan. Yeah, because you see all the abandoned places, a lot of abandoned places were in Detroit. Still, there's still a lot. Or Michigan. They bought a lot of that land or those properties, destroyed it, and made this big industrial area just for cannabis. You could look it up. Michigan. It's huge. It's like a mini city where they're just cultivating cannabis in Michigan. You could check it out. Michigan's one of the biggest distributors or growers for all of America in Michigan. But what kind of water are they using? I hope they're not using Michigan water. Oh, yuck. They must be filtering that. I hope they're not using that water. Because, yes, they have the property what was cheap. So they could buy it up and have an industrial area to develop cannabis. But hopefully they're not using that water because for years, Michigan, if not now, or Detroit, they have a water pollution problem. So I don't know if I would trust that weed coming from Detroit. And right now they're talking about a whole bunch of bad, negative stuff about cannabis in America. I don't think I would trust that, man. That's in a way, that's why. And everybody supports it, but in a way I like it that the Canadian government legalized it because that means dispensaries can't sell shit. They can't afford to do that, else you're out of business. And if you do go to the black market don't want to sell you garbage either because they're just hanging on. They're trying to beat the legal market. So they can't even afford to give you garbage either because the day they gave garbage, they're fully out of business. They're done. They're finished. Right? So I love it in Canada. But these other places, Europe might have some good stuff. But Europe gets stuff from probably even Canada. That's why Trump was blaming us for the borders and stuff like that. For years, America been getting weed in probably, I don't want to say it's controversial, a trade off for certain things. Yeah, for years through the border, I can imagine even Mexico. They used to call something called Tex-Mex. A whole bunch of weed was coming from Mexico at one time. That stopped. From South America, a whole bunch of shit was coming from South America at one time. That stopped. And when that stopped, they started to go into something else because once places became more lax and legalization, a place like Cali was legal, you took the money away from the cartels. So if you take money from the cartels, they lost the money in the weed stuff. So they had to do something else, right? Some of them undercoverly funded, this is what I'm hearing, funded dispensaries, people to open dispensaries in California. But it's really the cartels, right? And then, yeah, that's what's going on, man. So the market is different. The markets are completely different, but the best market is Canada, hands down. There's no market better than Canada when it comes to ganja, cannabis, marijuana. Nothing is better. You could go into a store, no problem, as long as you have the ID, no problem. The percentages of THC compared to what I hear in America is like it's in the 20s all the way up until like 35, if not more, right? I'm hearing certain places in America you can't even have THC, a certain percentage. It's like CBD. It's more medical. A lot of states it's medical. People don't get confused. Yes, it's part of the family, but a lot of states it's just CBD. That doesn't get you, you know, floating. That don't make you feel mellow. It's good for you, but it's not making you feel mellow. It's the THC. So a lot of places they can't have a certain amount of THC. They have to have it. They have to kind of bring it down, like mild. Or rather, who wants that shit? Really? The black market may be different. That's why the black market still remains probably big in America because there's no competition. The legal market in America can't still compete with the black market. You hear what I said? The legal market can't really compete with the black market unless you're from California and places like that. You can't really. You get what I'm saying? So people still rather go to the black market because, for example, in America, they haven't developed enough good quality nationwide. Maybe in California, maybe in certain other places, but it's not nationwide like Canada. Like from Ontario to BC, good shit. The natives, the indigenous people, they grow shit and they sell shit, which is good quality stuff. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. What do you guys think about the markets, man? What do you think about the markets? Where are you from? Is it good for you if you're a cannabis connoisseur, or is it bad for you? Like I'm hearing certain parts in especially the South in America, whoo, they're still strict, man. Like Mississippi, I think it's illegal down there. Yeah, Texas, it's illegal down there. So, and there's people who still smoke. But imagine Texas, cowboy town, where you know they've been smuggling stuff from Mexico. That not saying people don't do it, but you can't smoke no weed freely down there in Texas. Shit, you gotta hide that stuff. Damn. And if you do have the freedom, you probably have to live on some place where nobody really lives near you. So no one rats on you and shit. Damn. And that's supposed to be free? Freedom? I don't think so. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. That is supposed to be freedom. I don't know about that. If that's freedom, right now, every day on social media, especially Instagram, I hear people having debates, especially in America, about cannabis, about weed, and they're talking, yeah, I like this, I like that, blah, blah, blah. But the system's still screwed up down there. System's still screwed up. It's not free, man. It's not free. And even censorship, just talking about it is like sensitive. Just to talk about weed is sensitive. If you smoke weed like on these platforms, shit, they market for which is good. You're protecting. They market for adults 18. It's just very sensitive. Still, there's still a racism against cannabis. That's why for a long time they always associated minorities, or what, I'm not gonna say minorities, black people in America with cannabis, villainized, right? Villainized, 100%. But now there's a war on cannabis in America besides the law. People are like putting shit in it, right? People are doing all types of stuff, so that gives an excuse for their system to not accept it as much, because they're saying, look, they're trying to scare people. Look, people are putting stuff in this, blah, 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 blah. But if it's a dispensary, you can't do that, man. You'll lose your license. So where are these people getting this shit from? If it's the black market, that's your fault, man. That's your fault. If it's the black market. If it's the black market, that's your fault, people. Right? You take a chance with the black market. I'm not saying you can't go get something from that system. I'm just saying you take a chance. They don't go by the laws, right? They ain't going by the laws, man. I'll tell you that right now. They ain't going by the laws. I'm trying to find something for you people. They ain't going by the law. They ain't going by the laws, people. Let's see. Let's go back to me. Yeah, they ain't going by the laws, man. They ain't going by the laws. But I don't have to worry about any stuff like that. Where I'm from, it's all good. Don't have to worry about no fussing, no fighting, no protesting, nothing like that. All I have to worry about is going to if I want to go to the dispensary, I go. That's if I'm desperate. But got delivery. All I have to do, go on your phone, look on the menu, right? Pick what you got, call them up. I want OG this kush and that kush. Okay, you'll be there in a half an hour. Okay, $20-something. We drop it off. Finish. Hang up. Go pick it up. There you go. And it's not just the weed. If you want some papers, they bring it to you. You want some backwoods, they bring that to you. A whole bunch of stuff. It's a stoner's dream to be in Canada. Trust me. Somebody came from America just to visit me because I told them about it. He was in heaven. He was in heaven when he made that visit. That brother was smoking like he never smoked before. First of all, it was cheap. Cheap for him. He stayed here for maybe 3-4 days, so it was cheap for him. He drove all the way from, where did he come from? Was it Kentucky? All the way to Ontario. Yeah. I'm hearing people are traveling within America just to go to states where it's legal to get shit. That's ridiculous, man. You guys have to change up that stuff, man. But the market, like they say in America, all they could say is California does good cultivation and New York has a trend of cultural influence. That's all it's saying. New York is influencing other markets in America to be like them. So people are watching New York and say, damn, I want to be like New York. What about Washington? Because Washington has been legal a long time ago. So people are like saying, damn, I want to be like New York. Why is New York they get to do all this shit? Right? I want to be like there. They're cool. It's legal. I want to be like them. That's what's going on. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Let me play some music, people. I'm going to play some music, man. I'm going to pick up my herbs. This is what Herbalife. Herbalife.
They'll give out awards for planning the projects.
Now I got some pre-rolls. Well, they're finished. My daughter bought some pre-rolls called Piff, right? I'm gonna give you guys an example. 4 pre-rolls, right? And this is how they put it. It's like beer, alcohol. This is what I'm gonna read what they put on it. Warning: cannabis can be addictive. The higher the THC, the greater the risk. That's how they put it, right? THC pre-rolls, 4 of them. Now, for 4 pre-rolls, it could cost you maybe $15, maybe $20, maybe $20. That's how much it'll cost you. But it says this is the warning. Government makes sure that all the dispensaries put it on there. Warning: cannabis could be addictive. Alcohol could be addictive. Candy could be addictive. Food could be addictive. They're not giving you a warning to stop eating, right? They're not telling you to stop eating. So that's kind of funny. It could be addictive. That's every individual is different. When they say it could be addictive, that's on the individual. It can be. Everybody's different. Some people are more stronger than the others, right? It can be addictive. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. It's the Myri Jane Podcast, right? It can be addictive. So they put warnings on all products. If you have a dispensary in Canada, you have to be 19 and over to purchase with an ID. 19 and over to purchase. In America, it's 21 and over. Same thing with the alcohol in Canada. It's 19 and over. Everything is 19 and over, right? In America, it's 21 and over. But since they legalize it, it's the trick. Because when it was illegal, first they would, back in the days, you might get locked up depending how much amounts you have. And then when it started to get more soft, if the police found it, they just throw it out. And as it got softer, they gave you a ticket, like a $75 ticket or something like that, and you have to show up to court. So people were fighting their tickets so much, and other people were getting tickets, from certain communities, that they just said, frig it, let's just legalize this whole thing. The courts are getting packed up with all these people. We didn't know that we had so much pot heads. We kind of, this stuff is making money. How could we control it, right? So they control it now. So if somebody gives somebody who's underage cannabis, you could go to jail for a long time. Even in Canada, it's like giving an underage person alcohol. So if you give somebody cannabis or sell somebody cannabis in Canada, you're going to jail you could go to jail for 5 to 7 years, man. Serious. 5 to 7 years. So you just don't do it. You just don't do it. That's why they got legal dispensaries out there. The black market is there. They'll never get rid of the black market because organized crime been running the black market strong everywhere, including Canada, right? So that stands. But yeah, the market is the best in Canada. And Canada has good flour. And you could grow it yourself on top of it. If you don't trust the dispensary, you could grow it yourself. There's communities of people who are growing it. Your neighbor could grow it. You could grow it. 10 more people could be growing it. And then what people do, they barter. When harvest season comes, you have your harvest. I have my harvest. That person has their harvest. You trade. Oh, you want different flavors, right? So people are doing trade-offs, right? My pops grows every year. I have a tree ready for me. Yeah, my pops grows every year now. It was growing before, but grows every year. Last year, bud was good. The year before was better. This year, I can't wait because what? This is the first time I can't wait until the summer's finished, right? Because what? It's August, September, so about October, late October, that will get chopped. When late October comes, maybe even mid-November, but I think late October, that will be chopped. That could last all the way into spring. The last harvest he done, we just finished that weed about in March. Let me see, April, May. I swear I smoked the last of that in May. So, and that was from the previous. It lasts all like from the fall, the winter, like it lasts for a couple months, and we smoke a lot. My brother too, and my pops gave some away to his friends. My friends was giving good amounts to them. On top of it, so we didn't give any to them. We still have a lot now. If my pops didn't give any of the harvest to any of my friends and his friends, we'd still have a couple jars. Right? That's how it is in Canada, man. Good growth. The market is great up here. I can't complain. Can't complain. Why? Why would I complain? People, please subscribe live on the YouTube and the Kick at the same time. Let's see what time it is. Change it around, man. It's almost lunchtime, people. We'll play some music. What's going on? Check out all the links on the YouTube. Tons of content. Right now, we got a lot of content already on the platform. You could look in the links, right? Patreon. The list goes on Spotify. We got the podcast. Apple Podcasts, it's on there. Any podcast platforms, if you want to listen to certain episodes, you don't have to watch. You can listen if you're at work. If you're just out on the road, it is available right now for your listening pleasure. I haven't been on the podcast in a while, but I just uploaded a new episode, and I'm trying to upload more episodes and do more episodes. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Early morning, right? What you saying, people? It's the Myrie Jane podcast. The market. The market is good in Canada, man. Great in Canada. How's your market? I want to know. People are shy, man. They just watch. Must be from Europe. A lot of Europeans, they'll watch you and they don't say nothing. Nada. Silence. Right? I welcome the conversation. Right? But like I said, in America, the laws are screwed up. So I'm not surprised that marijuana is still villainized 100% down there. Still villainized in America, man. You guys got to step it. You guys got to change that stuff. Let me play some music. I got to get another drink.
You wanna know what shameful, Vic? Working your whole goddamn life, having nothing to show for it. You still think this good, bad, right and wrong? There ain't. There's just this. Survival. Security, pleasure. They don't give out awards for dying in the projects. awards for dying in the projects.
Friday. Call it the high day. Friday. What you saying, people? What you saying, people? Live and direct is the Myri Jane podcast. And just chilling, man. Gotta get some bud today, man. Gotta get some bud today. It's part of the culture up here, man. In Canada, it's a lifestyle. It's not just what people think. It's like your coffee. You know, people drink coffee and stuff like that. That's how it is for me, right? That's how it is down here, yo. That's how it is. I'm trying to plug something in. It's about lunchtime, right? Early morning pod. You saying, people? Seeing all types of stuff. What people are sending me. Right now, people send me all types of stuff. Live on the Kick. I suggest, if you like cannabis content, what's not censored, start a Kick the same way people are on, like, what's called the YouTube or Instagram or like Twitter, or what's called the other one. Frig, I forgot the other one. What's popular? Damn, I must have smoked a lot. But it's good to start a Kick account if you want to see good streams, good quality streams that's not censored. You want to go on Kick because you could play music. You could say certain things you can't say on the YouTube. You could blaze up, no problem, on the Kick. I don't have to worry about the video being marked with 18 and over and all that shit. Yeah, so it's good to go on to Kick and sign up. The same way if you're watching me on YouTube right now. Go to Kick, right? Change this how it looks. What you saying, people? It's the Myri Jane podcast. Just chilling on a Friday, man. But for sure, I'm talking all of this and I gotta pick up something, right? Got to pick up something. Yeah. That's better, isn't it? More clear, isn't it? No glare, right? So, people, the market is great in Canada. Good. It's like the beer and alcohol. That's how it is. It's exactly like the beer store, exactly like the liquor store. You go into the dispensary, you show your ID, and you look what you want. Different strands, sativa, indica, different growers coming from different places, and it's all good. So I'm thinking I got to do my research now that I'm talking to you guys. I'm going to go out actually to some dispensaries and ask some questions, right? And I should have been doing that for a while. I'm going to ask them how much product is not Canadian. Are we getting any American products? Because if we are, then that's interesting, because that'd be funny that America's making more money from cannabis sales in Canada than in America. Imagine that. Imagine that Canada's making more money from the cannabis from American cannabis than Americans who are purchasing or whatever down there. Because like I said, there's only a few states. There's a couple states where it's all good, but it's not fully clear, right? Europe, been hearing for years with New Amsterdam, New Amsterdam, New Amsterdam. I guess Germany is legal, and I think maybe Portugal is legal, but it's not legal everywhere, right? The UK, I'm not sure if it is. I have to look that up. If it's legal, they probably have dispensaries. I'm not sure if it's fully legal in the UK. I gotta look that up. But right now, what's coming to Canada is cafes. They probably already have cafes already, cannabis cafes. Well, what's coming? There's probably gonna be a couple cafes. I was hearing was it Starbucks? No, not Starbucks. You remember Planet Hollywood? Was it Planet Hollywood? No, I'm hearing it was Starbucks. They were planning to get into the cannabis industry. They're gonna rebrand themselves and open up Starbucks with a cannabis flavor, basically. The cannabis industry is getting into the drinks for sure. They had to do their research so they could regulate certain stuff. So now people could buy drinks what are infused, especially in Canada. I don't know about America, but what are infused with cannabis. So you drink that, shit, you don't want to drink too much, man. You don't want to drink too much of that, right? Um, Edibles, I know they're being more careful with edibles, especially in America. I don't blame them because a lot of the edibles look like candy, and kids love candy, so they could mistaken it for something else. So I agree with them really targeting to get those things labeled and sorted out because I could imagine somebody, uh, kid thinks something is candy and it's really not candy like that for children, right? So that's why I guess in America it's not clear or they're not ready yet to fully go federal. And I don't think that ever will go federal like Canada is. I don't think that'll ever happen. The last hope is this guy, Donald Trump. Anybody else who comes after Donald Trump will never make it legal. As crazy as Donald Trump is, he's the only hope to make cannabis legalized. After him, if he's gone or when he's gone, nobody's going to make it legal. I tell you, no, not a soul is going to legalize the weed in America. Glad I'm not down there. I'm sorry, respect to you guys if you what you guys do down there, but man, I'm glad I'm not down there. Right? So I don't know. I'm trying to get this back up on here. Let's see. Trying to get the scene on. Normally it's not that hard for me to get it. Normally it's not that hard for me to get it. Let's see. Respect for the people still watching. Right? This platform, I haven't been using it for a while. I should have, but because of all the red tape, if you want to say, or politics with cannabis, right? That's why I haven't used it, because social media is against it. And it's funny that I'm trying to put up the information once again and it's giving issues, right? It's like they know if I'm going to put it up. Oh, Lee, or whoever was here, they already got that info. Next time I'll prep even better. But damn, They didn't even want me to give you guys that. Shit. What's the issue? What is the issue? And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Live on Kick and live on the YouTube. Right? So, like I'm saying, you got to check out the Kick. Check it out. There's a lot of people on there right now. It's more beneficial for a content maker right now. Right? More beneficial. Yeah. Bless up to the people who are still watching. Right? I got my other platform. I could go on right now, but I don't know what news. What's the big news out there? What's the big news really rumbling on social media streets? There's always something going on. Always something. Right? But right now I'm on the Myri Jane podcast, and yo, people, check out the Spotify, check out the Apple Podcasts, check out the iHeartRadio for Myri Jane podcast. All right? What you saying, people? Some people, I don't know. Some people stream for like, I seen people stream for like 5 hours. I don't know how they do that shit. The longest I could go for is like 2 hours, but not most likely it's better to have a conversation with somebody else, right? Either the chat, or if the chat's not live like that, you have a guest. It helps, right? It helps if you have a guest on. Like right now, I could be getting a whole bunch of people on the other platform, right? But I'm still growing this like a weed plant. Still growing this like a weed plant, man. Still growing it. Still growing. Right? It's Friday. And like I said, the main thing right now is to chill, relax for the weekend, and get some bud. Get some bud. That's what's good to get. Good to go. But yo, I'm not gonna stop until I see this come back, because this is what we call some effery. I want to see what's going on. What's up? What's up, man? Do I have to say media or some shit like that? Let's see. Okay, there it is. Finally. Damn. Finally. Back again for the people who already seen it. Right? Top global regional cannabis markets. And they put New York at the top, Germany second, before even California, and California, US, right? And then Canada at the bottom. The bottom is the top, and the top is probably the bottom. That's what it really is. The bottom is the top, and the top is the bottom is the top, and the top is the bottom. That's how it should be. 100%. That's how it should be, people. Should be like that, man. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Let me play some music, man. I know to play with the system, man.
You stayed because you want something better. You want more than your father ever had.
Oh, my dad would be shameful.
You want to know what shameful, Vic? Working your whole goddamn
Playing
life.
the track.
I'm the chauffeur. You still think this? Good, bad, right, and wrong. There ain't. It's just this. Survival. Security, pleasure. They don't give out awards for dying in the projects.